It's a big issue actually because a lot of people don't know about counterfeit drugs. I live in Boston, I live with my friends, and my friends usually buy drugs online because they don't have enough resources and it's very expensive in the US. So usually they buy online and they don't know that the drugs can be toxic and that those drugs can cause them problems. And I think it's a big issue that people need to learn about, that people need to at least know the fact that they may have problems from such drugs. I don't know exactly what are the components, but at least I know that they may have some toxic components, or that they are not well made, or that they are made in bad conditions, so that when someone takes them, he may get some problems. I think a good solution would be twofold. First, to educate people so that people know about it. And second, it's more about law, to make sure that there's some law enforcement, especially in countries where people buy a lot from online. I think education would be good, but also law enforcement would also be important.
But you wouldn't dry my tears away. So now.
Please warn my patients not to buy drugs from the internet, as counterfeit drugs are mainly sold in unlicensed websites. And if you do buy from it, make sure that it belongs to a licensed pharmacy and that they have their contact information there, such as the address and phone number. And you should look for the seal on the website to make sure that's verified by the authorities. Also, avoid to buy drugs that are sold cheaper than they are supposed to, or if you are not asked for prescription, especially if the drug requires one. There are few ways to determine if a drug is genuine or fake. Sometimes there are very obvious signs of counterfeiting, such as spelling faults, incorrect packaging, or tablet sizes. Moreover, there are anti-counterfeit technologies that help consumers make the difference. For instance, tamper evidence seals, embossed graphics, holograms, and security inks that change in color according to the angle that are viewed at. However, counterfeiters are becoming better at replicating genuine drugs correctly. So after buying from the internet, stay vigilant. See if the drug is working or if it's leaving you with side effects. And whoever suspects a drug to be counterfeited must contact the responsible authorities for detailed analysis. And finally, the best way to avoid counterfeit drugs is to buy from trustworthy suppliers and licensed pharmacies, as the quality of their drugs is assured by the responsible authorities.
The meaning of a counterfeit drug could be different from one country to another. But if there is one thing on which everyone should agree, it would be that it's a serious crime. As a student, and during my academic path, I come across each and every little detail on how to manufacture a drug, a genuine drug. All those careful additions of substances, how clean the tools and the environment should be, all those clinical trials and those quality controls repeatedly applied, in order to come up with something that could actually cure rather than to kill. Now, if you ask me how can I determine a fake drug, it can be determined most of times by the easy eye, as those are usually manufactured by simple and cheap products or materials. It could be as a result either a fake color or a faded color or a suspicious caliber or even some cheap packaging. But there are those that are actually perfectly manufactured and perfectly copied. For those, you would either refer to the serial number or the hologram, which is the little stamp or stamp that you can find on the medicine's conditioning, or even some manufacturing informations. If you manage to find two at least, you can make sure that it's a genuine and real drug. Now, if someone happens to injure or to take a fake medicine, the most important thing to do is not to panic, as those are usually made by sugar or cellulose powder or an even lesser amount than the usual amount of the active substance. But if you happen to notice that the person's status is critical, you need to call your emergency center or report to your nearest hospital. Now, if you find yourself in front of a medicine of which you are suspicious and cannot tell the difference, contact your pharmacist or your MD, as they are the most qualified persons to do the job. But most importantly, stay safe.
Welcome to the new frontier. It's my anthem. It's my anthem.